What's up, everyone? Nick from Comic Culture here. It's time for Nick at Night, my weekly comic book review show. Let's get into the books I read this week. We're actually going to start over in Marvel. We have The Punisher Marvel Knights issue number 2. Now, we have Palmiotti on this one, and we have Panozin on the art. Panozin on the art is the reason why I'm reading this book right now. The interiors look gorgeous. Love how everything is so gritty and dark and depressing. And with that being said, though, the story is lacking, I would say. He's a prisoner right now. There's a lot of cool things going back and forth with these people in charge. There's some double crossing. There's some agents they're embedding into there to find out some more information about this like secret organization, things like that. So there's a lot of cool things happening around Punisher right now, but he hasn't really had a chance to shine. There's been moments throughout the story so far, the last couple of issues, but it's not like a Punisher's on the street taking care of business kind of a story so far. We'll probably build into that, but honestly, if you're getting this book, it's probably for the interior artwork, which is the best part about this thing. Not a whole lot to say about this series so far. It needs to build up a little bit more, and then I can have like a proper response to what's going on here. But let me know what you guys are thinking of this series if you've been reading it so far. Very much in the same vein, we have the Infernal Hulk issue number 1. So Philip Kennedy Johnson is on this one, but Nick Klein is on the interior artwork. Pretty much the exact same review from Punisher from Marvel Knights, man. The interior artwork is insane. If you haven't seen Nick Klein do interiors for the Hulk, you have got to check that out. The body horror that he brings onto everything, just the action scenes alone, the brutality and everything, it is done so well. The story, of course, we have the eldest. It's pulling over from some previous runs, right? So we have this eldest demon being that has split the Hulk personality from Bruce Banner. She or it has taken over the Hulk persona in a way and is just wrecking shop across America right now. We focus on some military folks inside of this issue as like being on the front lines when the Hulk is landing. And there's a lot of cool, interesting things that happen there. And then the whole landscape changes when this like demon energy seeps out enough. So it's going in interesting places. How long is Nick Klein going to be on the book? That's the big story right here. If he's only going to be in here for the first couple of issues and bounce out every so often, man, it's going to be rough. But if he's on for the long haul, this might be a book I read ongoing. So let me know what you guys think about Infernal Hulk if you're reading it. Let's jump over to DC next. We have Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 14 out. We still have Kelly Thompson on this one, but we have BRZRKR on the art. Love the interior artwork in here. It's got a little bit more of a crispness to it, but it still has that grittiness that BRZRKR can bring to a story. We are still following the thread of Diana's using a lot of dark magic, you know what I mean? A lot of energy is going out into there. There's kind of this shadow version of her that exists, that's terrorizing these very iconic places, these key places across the world. She's having to figure all of this out still. So she's up against it right now, but we also have this mysterious Absolute Zatanna character flashing in as well. I'll try to find some interior pages of that character. There's not a whole lot being shown so far. I think we're going to have more of a proper introduction soon. But like I said, we do have this Absolute Zatanna character kind of pop it in just for a moment here. Lots of mysteries still about what exactly is going on. That's what I'm most interested in. There's a really cool, I think, a variant cover for the next issue coming out that is featured in that cover, probably like a first cover appearance. You might want to look out for. Might be something you might want to check out. Again, the interior artwork is really cool. If you know this artist, you know what you're going to be getting through this story. It's got my interest a little bit more now. Absolute Wonder Woman took a little bit of a dip in the previous arc, but it's starting to build its way back up again to one of my most anticipated books of the month. We have issue number 14 out. Let me know if you read it. Next up from DC, we have DCKO issue number 2. Getting these Daniel Warren Johnson covers because I love that just look and vibe and aesthetic, you know? It's going to make a great little collection once we put it all together. So I was a little bit rough on DCKO. I think once you're past the premise and how insane and stupid it really is, I think once you're past that point, everything's going to be okay. Lots of cool action in here. It really plays on, I don't want to show anything too dramatic here or too insane. It really plays on the different characters, their past relationships, maybe some of the weapons that they might want to get their hands on to take each other out with. There's a lot of cool relationships and people reacting in certain ways when certain people get powered up. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be ambiguous on purpose, but the idea is there's a lot of history behind these different characters and it's cool to see them battling. Everyone has bought the dream so far. Like they understand that if they don't move fast, they will be taken out. There are weapons that are planted in this one zone. There's this evilness inside the zone too. There's not as many weapons as there are characters left. So it's like, if you don't have something by the end of this trial, you're not going forward. You know what I mean? So they're all battling for possession of these artifacts, these really powerful DC artifacts. So it gives a lot of people a great opportunity to start battling. You know what I mean? Like not just for the weapons, but just kick each other's ass in the process. And I think that's like the most exciting part about it. So of course you get the head-to-head battles that you think you would get between like like Lex and Superman and things like that. But you get some street level characters leveling up, powering up when they have these artifacts. Now they become a little bit more formidable. Now it kind of answers the question, how is that person possibly going to have a chance at all against so-and-so? We get those answers inside of this one. So this issue gives us a little bit more context on the bracket itself. But yeah, like I'm saying, DCKO, it's a book that once you forgive the premise, I think you're going to just have a good time reading it because it's fun and exciting. That's where I'm at with it. Let me know if you're reading it. Ooh boy, next up we have Absolute Batman. We have issue number 13 out. Scott Snyder on this one. Nick Dragotta. Oh man, I cannot say enough about his interior artwork. Absolutely incredible. We have the big arena showdown between Absolute Bane and we have Batman. We have Harley that we just found out recently. We have Catwoman. We have Croc and everybody coming to blows inside this arena. It starts off in huge dramatic fashion. There are so many great scenes throughout this entire battle. I don't even want to tell you about it. I want you to go and buy this book and just read this Bane arc specifically. This was incredible. Loved everything about this one. Now, throughout the Absolute Batman run so far, we've had some epic moments. We've had some gnarly body horror. It takes it to a new level with inside of this issue. Just the resourcefulness of Batman himself, the different allies that he's pulled together for this one event. It was something incredible. We do get a conclusion towards the end of this, and we have an introduction about where we're going to be going next. There's no surprise. We're going to be heading towards the Joker very soon, so there's a little bit of that. But is Bane in or out right now? That's really the question that we also answer at the end of this book. So always a lot of great, exciting things happening with Absolute Batman. Do not miss this issue. If you have not read it, go back and pick it up. It is awesome. Let's go over to Titan Comics next. We have Conan, Scourge of the Serpent, issue number 3. One more issue to go in this 4-part mini-series that we have, touch basing on 3 different points in time, all related to the serpents and how they've infiltrated those areas. This is your third of 4 issues, right, where everything just hits the fan. All the heroes start understanding what kind of scale they're up against and what kind of enemies they are, and everything's out into the open, you know what I mean? So we have King Null over here. He's completely surrounded by all these different people that he just does not know if he can trust. The battle begins there as well. We have Conan himself taking on like a Medusa style character. Man, I know you Conan folks are eating well when you're reading these kinds of books, just knowing who all these different characters are. Even for somebody like me, a little bit of a novice with Conan at this point still, I'm having such a great time with this book. I love how the different time periods are introduced here. I love how it's like an intertwined kind of a serpent style of a story. I just love that, man. The interior artwork is absolutely incredible on here. We have Gil on the interiors. We have Jim Zub obviously doing the writing, and there hasn't been a bad issue of Conan since Jim Zub took over. So that's all I really need to say. If you see anything Conan that's come out in the last couple of years, Scourge of the Serpent, if you have Conan proper, if you have Savage Sword, it doesn't matter what it is, pick it up. You're going to love it. I certainly am. Let me know if you're reading it. Let's go over to Boom Studios next. We have Berserker Bleeding Tide issue number 1. I feel like it's been a long time since we had a Berserker book. I love this character. I love the creative team on this one specifically. We have Keanu Reeves that's kind of doing the whole concept and everything, but we have Gary Brown doing the interior artwork. He's also the artist that does Falling in Love on the Path to Hell, and you can certainly see that in here. Very reminiscent of that as we have our Berserker character. We have this other lady, this like pirate queen almost, that's introduced inside this story. I think it's introduced inside the story. She is a badass. She has her own pirates and everything. She has found him or the remnants of our Berserker character and pulled him out of the depths of the ocean, essentially. He's kind of at her disposal because of that generosity, and she is actually wrecking shop and on this revenge mission of her own that he gets wrapped into. It is full of just insane blood, gore, everything. It's like everything you wanted from Falling in Love on the Path to Hell cranked up to 11 right here. I'm going to show you some pretty gnarly pages, so you know what I mean. Be careful there. But the violence is certainly cranked up to 11. It certainly earns the name of Berserker, but there's also a really cool just story in general about his humanity, him just basically living for as long as he have. He's basically given up a lot of hope about, you know, the kind of character he can turn into. So there was a cool message at the end of this one. There's a great team up, a collaboration between this pirate queen who has her own secrets that we explore throughout the issue as well, and just Berserker in general. Like, this is such a good series and it's handled so well, I think, so far. Love everything Berserker. This was a great issue. Let me know if you read it. All right, let's go over to Ignition Press next. We have Arcadia issue number 1 from the Miranda brothers. Not familiar with the creative team on this one, but I thought the cover art looked really cool with this book. And I haven't really read anything from Ignition Press that's blown me away just yet. This might be the book to do it. This book was actually pretty amazing. It has a lot of cool influences, a lot of familiar tones in here, but it's got some uniqueness too. There's like a zombie element to it. It's a post-humanity kind of a book. It's almost got like a Void Rival tone to it too, with these like symbols in their foreheads that basically hold their soul or something like that. Again, we have this post-human landscape. People are scavenging around for resources, and we understand like how these essentially like these zombie kind of characters are created. There's all these different machines. There's like an Akira kind of a vibe in here too. A lot of great feelings inside this book. Like great characters too. Just having a good time with it so far. I think the story needs to mature just a little bit. The art shifts a whole lot, like the quality of the art. But I'm enjoying the different scenes, the different tones that change brings. And I'm excited to see more about the world, which is really all you can say and all you can want from a new #1, from a team you've never heard of, from a publisher who's brand new, and an IP that hasn't existed before. A lot of cool things happening so far in this one. I'm going to read the next couple of issues, see where the story goes and how the art adapts to it. Yeah, having a great time with this one. Let me know if you read it down below. All right, let's go over to Image next. We have Escape issue #4. There's a cool pattern happening right here. We basically have this like action-packed issue, and then we have a little bit of a step back, and we're learning a little bit more about our character. Then we got another in-your-face action issue, and then we have a step back issue a little bit. That does not mean that these step back issues don't offer a lot of drama and a lot of information and a great time, because issue #4 was that step back, but man, did it add some context that was well received. So Milton, in the previous issue, he was on the run, he was battle damaged, he falls into this shop. He runs into these two people that are hiding right there, and they basically take him in, mend his wounds and whatnot. They're locals. They're having to deal with all the political drama and all the war that is going on around them. They had to survive these bombs that were dropped recently. That was kind of an awkward moment. But they also have this great conversation throughout the issue too about the differences in their political views and why is their government and their culture and society that much better and that much more superior, things like that. Like at the end of the day, they're all trying to just live and get by all the same. And so it was a really cool step back and just kind of understanding the perspective of both sides. And, there was some tension and things like that. But at the end of the day, they're both humans and they have just this great moments that I just really, really liked. So we're going to be off to the races very shortly after this one. But man, again, Daniel Kuna's artwork and the coloring and everything, holy crap. It's a very dark issue, a lot of candlelight, a lot of flashlights, a lot of yellows and oranges and things like that scattered through this issue, a lot of great blues and everything. So really, really great production value. Very interesting story. Lots of drama. Just get your heart racing, man. I love that stuff, man. So Escape, issue #4. Great issue. Let me know if you read it. Robert Kirkman and David Finch on Skinbreaker, issue #3. I mean, great interior artwork. The story is very interesting. I wouldn't have taken my main hero, I assume it's the main hero, and aged him up so rapidly inside of, what is it, issue 2 or the end of issue 1? Because we basically kind of backtrack a little bit and put our main character, in the same shoes as, the guys in the first issue, right? The elders that were running the place in the first issue. There's not really much they can do physically. There's a lot of things they need to pass on, a lot of lessons learned, a lot of morals and things like that to their tribe and everything. So it's going to be funny to see, like, where do we go from there? We have this new society. They've grown up under this guy's leadership this whole time. Still a lot of hatred from some of the other people that we're having to deal with throughout this issue and, throughout the years, I guess. And a lot of things are coming into question right now about this guy's like physical ability to keep the place safe. There's these monsters that attack them and whatnot. So again, like the safety of their culture and their community is, that's up for question right now. Very much so as it was inside of issue #1. And that's why we made the big change that we did in issue #1. We're right back to where we started. So I'm anxious to get out of this first arc, to be honest with you. We're on issue #3. I'm not really digging the story so far. Like, it's resonating. I understand what's going on, but I didn't like that time jump. Like, what's the next main character? Like, who is the next main character? This guy's son? Don't exactly know. So what's this issue 9 look like? That's my big question. But, with that said, the story is still good. The artwork is absolutely incredible. Like that's probably why you're buying this book. Maybe for the story as well, but the art is incredible. There's no denying that. But now that we're 3 issues in, like I said, what does issue 9 look like? Who knows? We're going to be there together. We'll figure it out. Let me know if you're reading it. We have the long-awaited Geiger issue #18. Man, we've been waiting for this book for a while now, I feel like. This was incredible. I love this one, man. It just reminds me of why Geiger sits on the top of like the best of the Ghost Machine books, in my opinion. Just really have a great time with this one. We even get some characters showing up from the 80-page giant, I believe. We have Goldbeard over here telling his tale, telling his folks that he has some kind of a treasure buried underneath this secret prison that Geiger is hanging out at right now. That's going to make him whole again, whatever that means, right? It's worth more than all the treasure in the world. And he has some informants that are going to help bring that out. But Geiger is really the key. He needs to basically short circuit this entire facility. And they're going to do that by electrocuting him. The interior artwork, oh my God, it is absolutely insane inside here. So Gary Frank is doing some of that work, but we also have Eduardo Penincia, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, taking on some of the interior artwork. And oh my God, the body horror and just the craziness that happens, the color palette in here, it is crazy, guys. There's just no other word to use for that. Lots of excitement, a lot of crazy cool things happening on here, a little bit of reunion for some of our allies too, and we're going to get some familiar characters showing up in subsequent issues. I am all for that stuff right there. Can't wait for the Northerner to show up because I've seen some solicitation of the Northerner and Geiger hanging out. That's going to be really fun. Issue number 18 is out. Great story. Let me know if you read it. Then last but not least, we have The Invisible Man, Universal Monster, issue number 4. James Tynion on this one. We have Danny and Brad Simpson. The conclusion of this run right here, directly leading up to the second that the 1933 movie starts. So if you have not watched that 1933 movie, first off, it holds up very well. The script is a little bit dated, of course, but the visual effects are incredible. And just the overall character is menacing and everything. Definitely watch that movie. If you haven't yet and you're reading this book, you got to be crazy not to do that. It is awesome. The story really couldn't have ended any other way. We had this child, I believe his name is Tommy. He was an early test subject, his first human test subject. It went too well, I would say. Made the kid kind of insane, and he ended up escaping the guy's clutches. And so he's on the run, you know what I mean? So we have to take care of that business. We have to wrap up some stuff at home. We have to do some experiments on ourselves, things like that. But I love the way that he uses his formula to take out Tommy and to like win back the superiority, right? And, you know, there's not a better artist in the world to depict these invisible type characters, these shadow characters, these negative space characters than Danny herself. If you're into her artwork, you're going to love this story. And James Tynion's doing a perfect job of adding more rich lore to the already well-known established characters from the Universal Monster. He did it with Dracula. He's doing it right now with Invisible Man. They're also coming out with Phantom of the Opera. I forgot exactly who's on that one. I know Martin Simmons doing some of that as well. Cannot wait for that. But I think Tynion has the best approach so far to how these stories are taking place. We had the Great Frankenstein book too. I think that was doing a great job. As long as they're adding to those original ideas and not doing like a sequel or something like that, man, I am all for this line. Doing a fantastic job. 4 issues. The collected hardcover should be on FOC coming up, I think, soon. Maybe it releases in February. Be on the lookout for that. Watch the movie, read these. It adds a whole new flavor to the character, and it was awesome. All right, guys, that's what I read this week. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you read and what your favorite books of the week were down below. While you're down there, like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification to be alerted whenever I put out new videos. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the comments.